Good morning. Welcome to the Platform Podcast. My name is Abel Kibet, and as you can see today, I'm not alone. I'm with two gentlemen here, and we really have a lot. Welcome. It's a very beautiful Monday. I think it's the 17th day of March, and we really want to welcome you to this particular broadcast coming to you live from Kapsokon. So much aligned to you today. We'll be talking about what is happening in Kenya, what is happening in Mount Elgon, what is happening in Bungoma County, and the world at large. So feel welcomed, and we really have much aligned. I'm not alone, as you can see, and I think they'll be now introducing themselves. Welcome to the morning show.
Okay. My name is Tim Satya. To all guests here available, I'm very happy to be here this very early morning. To my next guest, welcome.
I'm not a guest, but a host of the show. So thank you so much. I think all of you know me. I'm Derek Korir. This morning, I'm with, one of the contestants. Former senator, former MCA contestants. Today will be a hot show, mtarajiwa. That senator is saying mtarajiwa.
It will never be formed.
Yeah, it will never be formed. Thank you so much. So this morning, I'm with Senator to be Bungoma County, Timothy Satya, and also our director Abel Kibet. And this morning, it will be fire because that we have also, some few things we are talking about, including the changes in the parliament committees, what, Raila told Gachagua is this weekend that, Ruto is going nowhere. We shall also be talking about that, and also shall be talking about what, the US military operation against Houthis in Yemen. We did see Trump, start a war against the Houthis in Yemen, saying they have blocked Suez Canal, inhibiting business, especially shipping through that route. And then finally, we shall be talking about Africa, because, Africa is said to have the youngest population in the world by 2060. And, we're asking, is Africa ready? Are the developments, the critical infrastructure, being established in Africa ready for the, the youngest population in the world? So thank you so much, those who have joined us this morning, and we have so many issues, and I'm seeing Rainbow Tiani saying good morning classmates. Accountant ndio saying wewe mzee mwenye usikii baridi ulisema utafika lini huku mali tunatoa member of National Assembly. Huyo ni
my classmate.
ndio academician. And then Willy Ndiama saying good morning from this side. So thank you so much those who have joined us, and I think this morning we have seen the people of Sendera picking a bone of contention against.
Not this morning, it was actually yesterday.
Yesterday.
But Rainbow Tiani is the immediate winner of this.
Congratulations. So big congratulations. And on 12th of April, we are going to see you there in Ruto-Raila, Nairobi. So congratulations, Rachel. But also the people of Sendera, seem they are not happy.
Yes. I think among the things that we should actually talk about before we actually move on is that on 12th of April we're having the Platfest festival that is coming to you on 12th of April, and you only need to pay 2,500 shillings only for you to get an opportunity and a chance to be there. Get an opportunity to connect, to meet with people of like-minded, people from Mount Elgon. I will be having plenty of nyama choma, a lot of sabot music. You will be connecting with a lot of businessmen. We'll be having a lot of keynote speakers during the Platfest festival that is coming to you April. So you can only book your spot through paying 2,500 shillings through our pay bill number, which is 8681166. You can actually you can also scan you can scan a certain post that you have pinned in our page, and then get the simplest way of getting to your ticket. And on the other end is that yesterday was Sunday, and being a weekend, and you know what we're always having on weekends, we're having Jishindie challenge, and yesterday we were able to announce our winner, who is Ray Mbatiany. She won with a lot of votes, and we really want to congratulate her manze. To those that wale ambao walikuwa wana feel like maybe this one was not a very fair competition, we want to assure you that the Jishindie team did a very marvelous work, did a very good work to ensure that the competition is very free and fair, and you saw it yourself. You know, sometimes in competitions we must have a winner and a loser. So we're having the next Jishindie challenge coming over the weekend. Now you can now prepare, you can now campaign, and maybe make sure that you win the ticket coming next weekend. Alafu usibaki ukiwa unalaumu watu useme tena mambo namna gani. But to those that if you have complaint, you can also send the complaint through that number. Alafu tutakuwa tunazishughulikia jinsi ambavyo utakuwa ukisema. It's a very beautiful Monday indeed. It's a very beautiful Monday, and Derek has already updated you on what we'll be talking about. The political scene in Kenya is moving. We saw Rigathi Gachagua being denied a chance to speak in a church service, and I think Bishop Ole Sapit came out very clearly and said that no political rhetorics is going to be allowed in churches, and the first person to be served that order was Rigathi Gachagua together with Kalonzo Musyoka, Eugene Wamalwa, and it's amongst the things that happen in Kenya. We'll be talking about that with Timothy here, amongst the people that wanted to be the senators of Bungoma County. We really wish him the best. We have Derek here, and what is very interesting is that we are meeting again. You know, once we were really great debaters in Cheptikit sometimes back, and Ray Mbatiany can confirm that to you, because she used to be one of those speakers when we used to debate at Cheptikit, and we really thank God we again get the opportunity of meeting again here at Kapsokwony.
Yeah, thank you so much, those who have joined us this morning. You know, I see a lot of people have joined us. Joy Nesco, you know her there. Yeah. You know, is one of the greatest platformers, saying morning guys. Thank you so much, Joy Nesco. Academician, accountant ndio, saying wamekula mori bana. Farao saying wadau mko vipi?
Farao.
Okay. That guy is a Chelsea guy. By the way, yesterday I had forgotten Derek, and Farao KE reminds me, you know, that guy is my friend from Kandini, Pale Nomorio, and I'm very happy we managed to thrash Chelsea. They call us Penalty FC, and yesterday we only needed one penalty to win that London derby, and we were able to thrash Chelsea in the EPL, and to assure you that London is still red. We are very happy. Also, in the other news, Manchester United were able to win 3-1 against Leicester, 3-0. Manchester City with a draw of 2-2 I think with Fulham, and then Newcastle were able to win the Carabao Cup against Liverpool, and I was very happy with that news. Finally, the Champions League imetoka, Liverpool Carabao tena imetoka. Very interesting news, and that's how the weekend was, the EPL weekend was, Derek.
Yeah, the EPL, is a big, the biggest competition in the world. And I know most of the platformers and maybe watu wa Man U ndio wakishinda tunaonanga hapa sana. IVH Jerop is saying morning pulse tuning in nikiwa Nairobi. Thank you so much Ivy. Kibet ndio Faisal, are very you can say what? Always here.
He's always here.
Yeah, he's always here. And someone nimechelewa lecture, let me rush to class tuchekiane mabadaye. Rainbow Tianyi is saying thank you guys, I think that is for the congratulation. Yeah. Alafu Farao anasema usiongee mambo ya Arsenal. Yeah, Recho pia na confirm, hii mambo yenu ilianza kitambo. I think anaongelea mambo ya debate. Memoishas anasema mkoje. Kwemoy Hassan, good morning from Vietnam. I think jamaa may survive the death sentence. The man has survived death sentence, and I think is there's a person in Vietnam who has been she was given a death sentence, and some of the Kenyan government is saying they're interceding, for her. Cheptap Watson is saying kuna mtu atumii pesa yake anilipie ile event. Alafu Abel umetoa wapi kofia ya Papa Shirandula?
In the spirit of the broad-based government.
In the spirit of
the broad-based government,
Yeah.
Those guys that were actually revolutionary, those guys that really made sure, yes, it was either a beret or something like this. So those were the guys that ensured that freedom was being, people got their freedom, and even most of them fight for liberation. And what Raila has been doing, not only Raila has been wearing this cape and Papa Shirandula, we saw the likes of Moody Awori, we saw very many people have been doing this, and by the order of the Peaky Blinders, those guys were also they brought liberation. And it's very interesting. And thank you very much Cheptap Watson. She was also an Arsenal fan, and we really appreciate her. She's following from Nakuru.
Yeah, thank you so much Cheptap Watson, and everyone who has joined us. And behind the scenes, there is someone behind the camera
by the name Elia Love. Those guys that know Elia Love is our director today, and it's very good sometimes to appreciate those guys that really make things to happen. Like today is the man behind the scenes to ensure that we are having a very good production, and you get our voices and probably even the pictures very well. And I think Derek, we dig deep to our first story of the day.
Yeah. So our first story, is the changes, and in the spirit of the broad-based government, which today is represented here by the Cape, Abel has won. There have been changes in the parliament committees, and those who have seen, the biggest changes, what has happened to Ndindi Nyoro, and I don't know if some of you maybe are aware that now Bokosa is the deputy of the budget and appropriation committee. He has been moved from the health committee to the budget and appropriation committee, and is now the deputy chair. And because he comes from Mount Elgon, he's a sabot, and we have seen recently, I think last week Sunday, we did see the newspapers, saying that sabot leaders are the enemies of their own community and of themselves. I don't know, maybe we have seen, when Bokosa was in the health committee, now we have a hospital being built. We have seen another hospital being here in Endebess. Yeah. So will it change the trajectory maybe of development, or it's more development coming, maybe to the Sabot people now that Bokosa has been moved from being the chair of the health committee to the deputy chair of the Budget and Appropriation Committee. Remember, Budget and Appropriation Committee is where I think all the budgets, are done, and all the appropriation, even supplementary appropriation budgets, are done in this office. Shall we see more development, or now Bokose is just a deputy, he has no final say?
Okay. Allow me to say this to say William Ruto, congratulations for promoting Bwana Pokose to a position of funds. Kutoka health funds ameenda katika ofisi kubwa tena zaidi kutuletea maendeleo ambayo hatujaishuhudia. For example, now he is chairing that committee where funds are, then it means Mount Elgon are going to receive more funds. And we think even Bokose is working for across all parts of Kenya. So as Mount Elgon, we are receiving a 100 million project, our sub-county hospitals. We say asante viongozi waliomo katika hizo sector kwa kutuletea yale. So if the president is working to promote them, then we are ready again to receive more things, because hapo kwa parliamentary committee, hapo kazi zake ni kama kubajetia kila eneo.
It's everything.
The
budget,
all the budgets.
Like the budget of this year is 4.26 trillion. It is that office that is doing the budget.
The allocation of everything.
Yeah.
So which means when you have your in Kenya now, William Ruto is giving every part and every person from every community a position to serve this nation, which means alisema hakuna sehemu ya Kenya itaachwa, which means Mount Elgon has not been left out. Why has it not been left out? Because our representatives whom we chose them are clinging those positions, and they are bringing goodies. The president is giving them higher positions because of goodwill that they are doing to the people. Sasa tunashuhudia hospitali, sasa wameenda hapo mabarabara, kila kitu itanyoroshwa. Si tunasema asanteni. If it is hapa tena je nashughulikia mambo ya mashule, si ndio? Kila kitu Kenya. So si nasema asante bwana president kwa promote that guy to higher levels of position. Thank you.
Yeah. And I don't know, maybe some people are saying, it is removing, Gachagua allies. But at the same time, we have seen some of people from Central Kenya being given other positions, in different committees. And maybe, Bokose, for a long time we have had him, champion so many things, and I think it's the only Sabot who speaks in the flow of parliament, addressing, the issues of Kenya. Yeah. Maybe will we see him, budgeting, making sure that we saw allegations, against Ndindi Nyoro that he was budgeting, over budgeting for his constituency. Will we see some, Mount Elgon getting some favors, or the people of Endebess, getting some favors here and there from, because their son is in the Budget and Appropriation Committee?
Thank you very much. I want to again join hands together with my colleague here, Tim Satya, the man that is supposed to be Senator Bungoma County, God willing, in the a few years to come. It's very true that in the spirit of the broader-based government, President William Ruto now has allowed, I think, so many people, and those people that were viewed maybe are coming from those small minorities and small subtribes, or even those people that were perceived not to be following and not to be in government, and have now been allowed to be in government. And we really want to appreciate the president and Raila Amolo Odinga, the former prime minister, for even going to that extent of accepting and even allowing the nation to have this situation whereby everyone is going to be allowed to be in government. We used to have Ndindi Nyoro as the chair of the budgeting committee, and right now we have Atandi, the Samuel Atandi, member of Parliament Ugenya, if I'm not wrong. And it's good. In that spirit, Derek, I think those people from Ugenya now, if the people of Kiharu North had the opportunity of getting tiled classes. If the people from central Kenya had that opportunity of maybe their person being the leader of that very lucrative committee and more development going to Mount Kenya, I think through that opportunity, through that seat, even the people of Ugenya are now going to enjoy the same and probably get the same benefits those other people have been getting. Alego Usonga, not Ugenya, Alego Usonga. And Bokose, a man from Mount Elgon, a man from Endebess, a man who is a sabot like us here today, has been given that opportunity to be the deputy of Samuel Atandi. Recently, when he was the chairman of the health committee, we saw, I can confirm that we are having two very massive projects that are happening in Sabotland. In Saboti, we have a very big level 4 hospital. I think in the base of more than four-story buildings is happening there. In Kapsokon, already having the foundation is already through, and it's a project again of more than 100 million. And it's because of our son Sari Kimtai. It's because of Bokose ensuring that maybe we're having these things coming to Mount Elgon. Through Honorable Bokose, I strongly believe that the Sabot community are going, even if Derek, it's an extra 1,000 shillings for the people of Mount Elgon. Let Bokose ensure that it's coming home, it's coming near the people of Mount Elgon, and at least we also enjoy the benefit of being in government. The people of Mount Elgon have been in government since time immemorial. It doesn't matter it's which government. Recently, we've mentioned that probably the reason why the people of Mount Elgon, according to the Star magazine, they were saying that maybe the leaders of Mount Elgon are the enemies of the people of Mount Elgon. But right now we are talking about, you see a person like Bokose, he's been on indeed, I agree with the statement that the leaders of Mount Elgon have been indeed the leaders that have happened to be the leaders in areas that are maybe having sabots, for instance, because now these are the people that form the population of Mount Elgon, the indeed inhabitants of Mount Elgon. They have really lacked those leaders that have the agenda of the people, those leaders that are spearheading. And you have mentioned it's only Bokose that has been on the floor, not even the issues of Mount Elgon, the issues of health, issues that are affecting all Kenyans. And I strongly believe, you see, a leader that is talking, Derek, has already showed us that indeed he has something that he can bring to his people. And through Bokose, I believe that seat befits him. We have seen just our immediate neighbor, Didmas Baras, has been serving as the deputy of the roads, transport and roads and infrastructure. You have seen the kind of infrastructure that has been happening in Kimilili constituency. So if Bokose is going to be a lead of will, if he's going to decide that I want to bring development to Mount Elgon, then this is the time President Ruto has given him. I think this one is the second half of this government, 2.5 years. Let us now wait and see what is going on. And we really hope he's going to bring development to Mount Elgon.
Yeah. Bokose bano, we are watching, closely. And Mr. Senator, maybe, the Star magazine did say, and it put their pictures of almost all Sabot leaders in the national government, saying they are the enemies of their own people. Do you think so? And if it is so, what are some of the remedies or solutions that, can be done to address this issue?
For me, I will say magazines are there to sell their propaganda and everything they are supposed to sell. But at some point, they may reporting what even they have not research. They can give us research and tell us how they came to this realization. Because personally, I will say these leaders who are in position, whom we chose, they are products of people of Mount Elgon. They never chose themselves to those positions. So I will say it is us who make the leaders. Leaders do not make themselves. Yeah. So as we are progressing forward, I can say the leader of now of Mount Elgon is not the leader of maybe we had some powerful leaders back in. But now I can say what we have witnessed right now and what people are expecting maybe is of much more. So as we are progressing, we are nearby 2027. But if we are now speaking about our hospital which is being erected, can we really say, is that an enemy of the people, or that person who is chairing that one is a progressive person of the committee, of the community? Yeah. So
is a progressive because there is an hospital.
Anasema congratulations, tulikuwa na Kapkuka festival.
So you think it's just magazines trying to bring divide the people and their leaders?
To divide the people and their leaders. Look at Kapkuka festival. We witnessed something that we had a lady called Miriam being congratulated there, and the leaders of the support came there overwhelmingly. And we enjoyed the whole celebration. People accepting their way of life. Something that has never been witnessed in Mount Elgon since the earth was born. So we say to our leaders who have made such progressive moves, we say thank you. Right now I can say across Mount Elgon schools we have so many buses. For me nasema natembelea basi ya Mheshimiwa Fred Cheseba Kaponde pale JJB, watoto wako na furaha. Hata kama mheshimiwa ulikura kidogo mambo cha mwezi ile hapo hivyo, tunaomba msamaha, sisi bado ni watu wako, na tunasema karibu cha mwezi, sisi tunakaribisha, tembea mlima bila wasiwasi yoyote. So tukuna mabuses. Should we say are those enemies?
They are not enemies.
What we should work is we should work together to pendani and let us strategize now. To make strategies on how we are going to be as one people of the support community. Sisi ni wengi. Wa support ni wengi. Kuanzia Cheptei suko kabisa. Big up Koret. Mchepkube.
Border. Napanda hivyo Chesoro Chebwe.
Mpaka Kapchorwa district. Huko Sabiny. King of Sabiny alikuwa hapa akasema Kapkuka sisi ni wengi.
Na watakuja this year wote.
Jina Big up Koret ni jina ile ni watu ya dunia. Na kumaanisha pale kuna lawama, saizi tuko naeka solution. Kwa pale unaona kiongozi maybe ameteleza, sisi hapa media platform tunasema kiongozi tunashukuru kwa ile unatutendea, kama John Gomat saizi aka anaweka mamara mabarabara. Hivi karibuni kwenda kufika 2027 maybe tutaanza kushuhudia Malamu.
Which specific road?
Chemwesus kuanzia hapo mpaka sokoni, ameweka mpaka sokoni. Chemwesus mpaka sokoni, hajafika mpaka kwa senate yangu pale nakaa.
Amefika kwa senate.
Ishba. Nataka afike kwangu bana, mimi nakanyaga matope bana. Bana John Gomat pale huko, kumbuka mimi na kuheshimu, na tulipanga siasa tukiwa kimoja. Sisi tulipanga tukiwa na mzee.
In fact we were there.
We were there. So mzee, you know and our agenda you have at hand. Remember mzee, ni sisi ndio tuko hapa, na sisi ndio tulikuja kwako tukakuletea vijana wote wa Kapso. So we say thank you for what you are working, but also involve us. Involve us the way we involved ourselves to go and tick for you early in the morning. So we say our leaders work with us. You are not our enemies, we are not your enemies. Let us work together. Na tupendane.
The Star magazine did accuse the leaders of the leaders of Mount Elgon being the enemies of their own people, and we are getting more clarification this morning about it, and other changes that were done in committees. Now the chair of the budget and appropriation committees, Alego Songa MP, Samuel Atandi's deputies, Ndebes MP, Dr. Robert Bokose. Now, and then in the health committee where Bokose was moved out, I think the chair became Dr. James Nyikal. And then I think energy committee, but still is pending. But I think the current chair knows, Vincent Kawaya knows that he knows that he's on his way out. And and I think another committee is the trade and investment committee, where we saw Gachagua, like James Gakuya, being removed, and then Aldai MP Mary Ann Keitany, being given the position.
Keitany.
And somehow the we are seeing someone like, Dr. James Nikal is also a doctor. Robert Bokozo was also a doctor. Is the president, seemingly looking for people who are competent. Some people are saying, the president is giving it out to ODM members, but it's still seems is giving to people who are qualified. Is the president, continuing with his legacy, and maybe, Abel, you can tell us, maybe just like, is someone like, Samuel Atandi, now Robert Bokozi is a doctor, is being given the budget and appropriation committee. Is the president, still continuing with his commitment to make sure that, he puts professionals, in the ministries where they can be, effective?
Yeah, Derek, I strongly believe the president is doing that that he had promised the people of Kenya. The people that you've mentioned people of caliber, people with character, and even before you are chosen as an MP of your constituency, I strongly believe that it's because your people believe that you could work for them and work for your nation. So, if first of all your people have believed in you, it means that already you can go and do anything for the people of Kenya, and that one alone qualifies any MP maybe to be the chair of any particular committee that is meant to serve and maybe deliver service to the people of Kenya. Those people that some people are mentioning them as maybe associated with ODM, Derek, I strongly believe that President Ruto is giving those guys that maybe during their times of critique, when they were critiquing government, maybe they were critiquing government in a way that they were trying to offer an alternative. Sometimes we critique government, we try to say the government is not doing this, but what is the alternative? What is the solution? What are you offering as an alternative for that? And sometimes you may view that maybe the president is awarding that to ODM, but we remember during opposition times, maybe these were the MPs that were saying, if this one is the solution that President Ruto is giving us and it's not working, this one is the alternative, this one is what we can give to you. As the MPs of the opposition, this one is what we would have done, this one is what we had in our manifesto that is going to maybe help you achieve and maybe transform the agenda that you had with the people of Kenya. And remember, Derek, I said here, ODM as a party and UDA as a party really had few things. They are sharing almost a 10-point manifesto agenda, Derek. They were sharing a lot of things in their manifestos, and that alone means that maybe those MPs know, they understand what President William Samoei Ruto manifesto indeed had, and maybe what is supposed to deliver to the people of Kenya. And then again, these committees, if you've been privileged to know how the parliament works, these MPs sometimes when they come to the people, they will talk maybe the way they want the people to they want the people to hear, they want people maybe to be happy, but they always meet at the committee levels. They know what is happening, and they know, Derek, they know this guy at hand will deliver. They know any MP can deliver. So in that spirit of the broader based government, let everyone work for Kenya.
Let everyone work for Kenya.
That is the spirit, of the broad-based government. And maybe just before we get to Satya, he was a Baba diehard in 2022. Just, before we get his thoughts about, the current moves between Ruto and Raila, there are some people who have joined us here, including Brenda Cheropi saying, good morning, Wapendwa. Good morning, Brenda. Smaller, if you remember Smaller. Sharon Secret saying, good morning, my classmate and my cousin right there, Timothy, miss you.
I miss her too.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Smaller. Niva Chem saying good morning. Naibei Damari saying good morning from Shakahola. Thank you so much, Naibei Damari. Niva Chem saying good morning. And then there is someone here saying, someone by the name Nandion Starboy Senior saying, this young man is advocating for incompetent leaders. He should be well informed. I think that is about that story of the Star, where they studied, right, that support, leaders are there. Yeah, another person is saying that you are advocating for incompetent leaders. Is it
I
so?
think broader based government, or in what line?
Not broader base.
our own.
In what the Star magazine wrote, these guys still believes that the support leaders, are incompetent.
Yeah.
But you have said, they are competent. It's just like, how things have been,
Yes, how things unfold.
Yeah, how things have unfolded. And maybe Mr. Senator, because, people seem to believe even Ruto is incompetent, Raila is incompetent. You are among people who really, believed in Baba. And now Raila has been brought into government. And we have seen even changes both in Senate and Parliament and even ministries. And even we are hearing of upcoming reshuffle of PSs and chairman of parastatal. Different things are coming to favor the people of Raila Odinga. Do you think this is just a move to silence and make sure that Mount Kenya is dead, Gachagua has closed his mouth? Or this is a real plan, to make sure that the lives of Kenyans, are changing? Is this just politics, or Kenyans should be hopeful and say, now we have two people that have had almost the same manifesto coming together to build Kenya that we want? Or it's hot air and just politics to make sure that the Gen Zs are quiet?
Being a Gen Z, allow me to say that I thank the president for being in power because his wisdom is enough. Bringing Raila Amolo Odinga to the government was one of the most intelligent moves that the president made. The same way my friend Abela said, let everyone work for Kenya. When it comes to paying taxes, I've never seen people saying, Mount Kenya, I'm paying taxes, so Mount Elgon should be excluded. When it comes to paying taxes, the language is of inclusivity. The price of bread in Mount Elgon since 1963 is the same as the price of bread in Mombasa.
Yeah.
We all pay taxes for this country. So let the children of Kenya serve this nation together regardless of their stance in politics. The same way God gives us son. Sai imewakia kila mtu. Even there are those who do not believe in him, but he has not excluded them. Mr. William Samoei Ruto is working, bringing all Kenyans together. And I support him. There are people from Mount Kenya like Professor Kithure Kindiki. He's from Mount Kenya. And he's a very happy guy. He's delivering. Must it be that I am the one? And yet Gachagua was there. We remember him saying that anabonyesa kwa calculator.
Yeah,
Shares. So which means like people of Mount Elgon angesema sisi hatujai hata kikombe. And they don't forget that areas like here in Mount Elgon are the areas rich in resources, for example. We being minority but we are the richest in resources. Our forest imejenga hii Kenya. Hii msitu wamekula sana. We have our water here serving people. We have never cried, but we receive minor. We have our products. We have our stones here building the whole nation. We have never complained. So I'm telling Mr. Gachagua is, please rethink. Omba Rais msamaha. Go back and re-strategize. Raila Amolo Odinga and William Ruto working together for a common good of the country. Like we can say, like people like Moses Kuria were given positions. Rather than giving solutions, they were just mocking the event. Bad is working. He has already confirmed teachers on GSS size wako and
74 teachers.
over 74,000
teachers were employed.
The prison is working. Now GNC wako na nguvu ya kukimbia kwa streets. Bei ya ugali ni shilingi korogoroni 100.
If it was about ugali, indeed it was about ugali.
Dero mimi najua saizi this guy and even Abel Dero ameongeza mwili kidogo lakini jamaa akiwa jeko hadi 1 GB because Uhuru Kenyatta. You remember the price of unga?
Yes,
240. We'll never forget. And you remember the bay of oil ya kupikia tu hii.
Yes,
180 shillings per liter
per
in 2021 and even 2022. William Ruto has worked, man. Watu wanasema ati mbolea ni za msaada. Mbona Uhuru Kenyatta angeende hakuleta hizo za msaada? My friend, and the petrol now, the shortage of petrol has never been witnessed since the president came to power, which was being witnessed. There are some shortages ile president aka anafanya, but tunasema hiyo mambo kidogo kama kierere yake kidogo hiyo itapunguzwa kidogo. I'm saying this,
which baba said
hiyo kidogo wa team hiyo kidogo hiyo, rather ya kusema ati I've consulted sijui at Marcos Rubio, the secretary state. The president is lowering himself. He should consult president for president. I've called president of France, not those guys.
He'll now be consulting Baba.
So I thank the president for working together with the Baba.
Yeah. And also, what do you think position Baba should be given, or just Baba being Baba is enough?
Baba being Baba is enough. Advisory. That guy is an advisor. His role is just to advise the government here, and as he advises, he also gives solution. You want solution-oriented people, not people who just solution-oriented. That is the people we are working for. Or
That is it. That is it.
Solution-oriented. I'm saying, like now, positions being taken like Atandi, the whole Kenya is happy. The president has realized that when you come from a certain area, you give your area priority. So the president is giving each and every person in this Kenya a position, so that every part of Kenya may witness development. Representative from each and every community.
So that you don't president.
So we are telling our leaders, given a position, serve our people. That is the joy of the president. Serve the people. If you are given a position, serve Kenya. Don't forget home. Home is home. And we will remember celebrating the success of those who are doing goodwill to our home. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Senator mwenyewe, Baba died, and this morning, ndio tumeanza tu, hata bado tujaanza kumuuliza about Baba, mnaweza kimbia. Shazli Mandal saying good morning, I don't know who Shazli Mandal is, but good morning to you, Shazli.
Watching from the coast.
Oh, she's thank you so much, Shazli. Then Charles Dickens, the great, the Duke of Kitale. Saying she is following. And then there are some people here, Ngeiwo Joseph Cherubet is saying you are right. Mm-hmm. If it's you that is replying to the other person, telling him, I think this guy called Nandion Starboy would say that the young man is advocating for incompetent leaders. Now, Ngeiwo is telling him, it's you that you are not informed. Honorable Kapondi is working tirelessly to ensure that our future remains bright. And then we have Grievin Sero, from Chemoge Secondary School saying, it's a Monday, mlisema huyu senator aliomba early retirement ama morning guys. Kazi safi Abel na Derek in love with that shati na kofia mzee Ojwang. And then Grievance Sero is still saying, Senator, unaongea vizuri hata kama si yuko shua na mambo yako, lakini unafurahisha, upewe more time na Dero, ushike your mic. You can still make a good comedian. Hey, thank you. Thank you, Grievance Sero. I think Chemoge is watching from Chemoge Secondary School live. And then Rain Batian, clapping for you, is saying, na uko fluent senator, debate ilisaidia kweli. Thank you so much, Rain Batiani. Kaka also saying, I think from Nom City, saying good morning. Good morning to you, Kaka, And then, this weekend, we have also seen Raila telling Gachagua and the allies, Ruto is going nowhere. We have had, since the Gen Z demonstration that, Ruto must go. And people are asking themselves, where is Ruto going? It's only been 2 years, for a long time, and people have been asking. But just before, we dive into what really happened during the burial of retired Colonel James Gitahi, let us just, do you think the Gen Zs are really, do you think Gen Zs or the young people like me and you know want Ruto to go? Do we really want Ruto to go? Do we have a replacement, or in our real thoughts and mind, do we want Ruto to go, or we are just saying Ruto must go so that that he captures the attention of the young people, so that he can work tirelessly to make sure that he's delivering, so that we have employment and so many other things. Abel, do you think the Gen Zs, are telling Ruto, come on, we'll tell you you must go if you don't work for us? Or really they want him to go, and 2027 they are warming up?
Yeah, thank you very much, Derek, for that beautiful question. And some people, and many people that, by the way, follow us, the young people, the Gen Zs, and we remember during Maandamano is when the Gen Z movement became very popular, and amongst the things that has actually shaped the political space in Kenya since last year. The Gen Z's concerns were very genuine, were very true at the start of it, and we can't blame the Gen Z for trying to make things that have been always wrong in Kenya. And I want to congratulate very many young people that for the first time tried to come out and maybe try to salvage the situation that was happening in Kenya. We have had rampant corruption, Derek. We have had a lot of incompetent people serving in government. We have had a lot of nepotism in government. We've had a lot of tribalism, and it's amongst the things that the youngest people really don't identify with. Young people in Kenya don't really like to speak about tribal things. Young people in Kenya really want to see things working as many nations, and it's amongst the many things that I think triggered the young people to come out with water and flags, if you remember very well, during the Maandamano, to come out and ask for proper leadership, for people to own up mistake, for corruption to end in Kenya. And it was very beautiful. Very many young people came. Along the way, Derek, around 2 or 3 weeks, the movement grew very well, and we saw other people that were not young joining the Maandamano, those people that were above 30, those millennials even saying that we are joining the Gen Zs, older people, even parents saying that we are now siding with the Gen Zs. And I remember Gen Zs had said that we are leaderless, we are tribeless, and sometimes I think the one thing that really costed the young people was lacking a leader. As a movement without a leader is a movement without a direction, Derek, if you ask me.
But is it that leaders were not there, or they were behind the scenes?
In fact, a movement without a visible leader, without that person that has come out and say that I was at the start of this and I will be there, and is ready to own up everything that is happening. The way we used to have those political mandamanos of Raila, we used to know that these things are being propelled and are being done by Raila Amolo Odinga. But when it came to young people, we never had an actual leader that was representing the young people. In fact, we had the likes of Kasamuel coming, and because he came out, he was very smart, and he used to come out with suits, and he was very eloquent in some of those debates, and some people perceived and maybe viewed him as a representative of the Gen Z's, Derek. And so many things came and happened about Gen Zs, and the movement lost meaning, Derek. We now saw people stealing. We saw people vandalizing property. We saw people even going to Parliament, marching to Parliament. People wanted to march to State House, and it led to very many killings, which I think it has formed a basis of us even talking the talk that we're talking today, of even some people saying that this government, some people say that this government really killed young people, but remember, those young people wanted to overthrow government under the shadow of some people that the government strongly believe the young people were properly funded, and those that were leaders refused to come out as leaders, and even formed and made very many young people to lose lives, and even we lost direction, Derek, as young people, and we did not even gain anything from that maandamano, because right now we are having Baba in government, which I think those are the people that they are the politician, and those are the people that can produce leaders, and they formed even they have found a way of even coming and making Zakayo to come down. Zakayo ameshuka for the first time. We're having a broader President Ruto had refused. He said no nusumkate, and we remember him telling the young people that I'm ready to hear you. I want to have the president came to the space, and that is the effect of not having a leader. Right now we'll be having maybe a serious representation of young people that will have been formed after that maandamano, but because of that small mentality of Gen Z that we don't have to have a leader, Raila is in government, his people are now serving, and if we really want a Kenya that is moving, we must not be in the streets. People should be working. Already we had an election. So Derek, to say Gen Z right now is a movement that maybe has really lost a lot. Right now we want a movement that is leading us somewhere. You see, those that are behind Raila, they are moving towards somewhere. They also want leadership for their people. They are not only liberating the nation, Derek. They are liberating while occupying those positions to show us this is the direction. While we are working for the nation, not just going and vandalizing things, saying like we don't have to, we don't, you know, when we have elected a leader, already, that one is what the constitution has mandated us to do. The same way the senator said here that we're having an MP that we should be asking him to work for us. When he works, we'll give him credit. When he does not work, is then we come to do the critique. And that is what we've been asking, and that we're asking this nation as the young people, and even here in Mount Elgon. When we critique leaders, it doesn't mean that we hate leaders. We critique leaders so that we must move on, so that we must have a direction as the people of Mount Elgon, Derek. So Gen Z already lost it. Right now, when you see me, this probably, God willing, 2027, you may see me coming with either ODM or UDA. You may never know. So it's broader based, Derek. It's broad based.
Yeah. UDA or ODM, 2027, Mount Elgon is open for any one of those, and just before you get it to senator, just ask him, the Gen Z mean, Ruto must go, must go in really going, or it's just a way of capturing his attention to make sure that he hears them. And there are other people who have joined us, and there are so many people who have joined us this morning, including someone called Kapkugo. And he's saying, how can I enroll him and buy a t-shirt? Kapkugo wants to show some people dust. Thank you so much, Kapkugo, and we wish, that we show them dust. Masichesh Cherono saying...
You can just do the registration. We'll be announcing...
or you can register.
Friday, yes.
There's for t-shirt.
Yes, for the t-shirt is there. And the challenge that we're having right now is Platfest. You can tell them.
Yeah. I think now it's Platfest, not t-shirts.
Yes.
Yeah, now it's Platfest. But t-shirt you can just buy.
Yes.
I think you can just buy. If you want t-shirt, you can just DM and then you'll buy it, and I'm sure they will ship it to your doorstep. Yeah, but currently we are going on with Platfest, and the tickets. Yeah. As also Masichesh Cherono is saying morning naona mambo iko vulai. Thank you so much, Masichesh Cherono. Jen Olinyo saying good morning, getting you clearly from Mount Kenya University Eldoret campus. Okay. And Charles Dickens, I think he wants to disagree with you, Timothy, saying truth be told, I quite disagree with our guest. A country can thrive without opposition. Tesi Chepkorir saying Abeli, hey, luku ni moto. Yeah.
Congratulations, man.
And then nasema Derrick Alo, nimekumiss Senator, good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, and then wakili bet saying salimia Senator, alafu Abel Gen Z movement is very much active. No one wanted to overthrow government. The movement was hijacked by the goons. You saw moving around with the president. Seeing the goons moving around the president were the one who hijacked who hijacked the maandamano. I don't know if those allegations,
I think I can just respond to that because it's what you had asked me. I said that the Gen Z movement is a very good thing, and the way it started, the first three, you see right now when you say, what was the identification of Gen Z, Derrick? Who is a Gen Z? A Gen Z is a person that was born between 1997 to around 2002. So it's actually it's an age identity's age bracket. It's an age group, not everyone. So when you get older people calling them Gen Zs, that movement is losing identity. And we remember, and I want to agree with Bet Wakili, one of the great guys from Mount Elgon, and I strongly believe is I think when today I find myself in court, I'll be calling Wakili and tell him that Wakili, my things are not very, and it's a conversation that I've been having with the Wakili, and I want to confirm to him, when Gen Z started as a movement, it was something that everyone wanted to identify with. A movement of young people with flags and water trying to call the government to order. And not only the government, everyone. I remember they were calling the opposition to order. They were calling the citizens to order, our parents. They were calling everyone to order. But when some people in the name, not only the goons, goons are everywhere. We have goons everywhere. Those people, those politicians that had lacked that what I will call influence of the people, those politicians that were out of government, those politicians that were in oppositions and felt that this one was our opportunity now to come and maybe bring threat to this government or try to pin this. You know, for me, Derrick, I've been telling you and Senator since time immemorial, I will always be in the government because the government has been designed to work for the people. For us to have a good road, it's only the government that can make roads, Timothy. Timothy, you cannot claim that you being the Senate of Bungoma County come 2027 or 2032 that you're the one that you're bringing us road. It's the government through the people. So I must always be in government to ensure, because it's the government that is working for the people. So for someone to come and say that you want to pin the government down, let us support the government to work for the people. Those people that are corrupt, that is what the Gen Z was saying. Let us approve these people that are not making the systems to work, because systems have been designed to work for the people, Derrick. There is no way the system was going to be. The constitution cannot create the position of the MCA so that it can come and pin its people down. No. That is what the Gen Z was saying. But when someone in the name of politicians, someone in the name of sponsors, some people in the name of civilization communities, they came in and infiltrated the movement, Derrick. My friend lawyer Bet. You see right now the movement, it crashed. We are seeing young people talking different languages. In campus, go to any campus, they are voting in tribal lines. I saw Morara is working with Gachagua. Kasmuel is with Raila. Where is the movement? We saw the likes of, during the space, we had the alikuwa wanaitwa nani? Those guys that used to hold the space.
Or the
Kimuzi, those guys they are pulling different directions, and to say that the movement is still alive, Kina Otero, Sam Otero, so it's a lie that the movement is alive. If you are young people and you really want a very genuine political, the Gen Zs are alive, but the movement is not. In fact, the Gen Zs are suffering. They are still crying. The Gen Zs still don't have the jobs. They didn't. Many people that died, they were the Gen Zs, and they had no one to really. They had no leader who was going to talk their interest with the president, because what the Gen Zs wanted, they wanted job opportunities, Derek. They wanted to have houses, proper housing. Young people wanted to have property. They want to own property, and apparently, as we speak, it's never happened. We're only having the opposition enjoying, and there have been people that they have been fighting. So in that spirit, let everyone join, including Gachagua. Why did he leave government? Why did Gachagua leave government? So if you feel you are not happy with Ruto, now go and form an opposition that indeed is an opposition. You should not just be critiquing without an alternative opposition. When we're having a conversation with you, let us agree to disagree, Derek. We should not just have a conversation because I want to disagree with you.
So Tesi Chepkorir is saying mtu asalimia wakili. I think maybe she was recruited to the Gen Z movement through Wakili, and maybe Wakili promised, a heaven on earth. There will be, I think Wakili maybe told her that maybe there are chances he might be president if the movement becomes successful. And also, during the burial of the retired Colonel James Gitai, we did see, the senator of Murang'a, Joe Newt, coming out and telling Raila Odinga to work with Kalonzo and Gachagua, saying they are ready, and willing to work, with him. But, something that, appeared, and was very categorical is when Raila stood up, he told them, where should the Ruto go, and told them categorically, Ruto is going nowhere. You want Ruto to go, and then Kindiki, and then you'll also not want Kindiki, and therefore it will be a continuous cycle, Therefore, he did tell the people, that is why we have 5 years, of allowing people to work, and then after 5 years, we audit them, and then through an election, we remove or we re-elect them. And so, it seems the bromance between Raila and Ruto has really, set foot, and has now, has a foothold now in the country. And now we are seeing, it seems Ruto and Raila are also moving into parliament ministries to make sure that, Raila is in the government, really, in all ministries and whatever institution that is there, And Senator, you have been Baba's man here for a long time. Even, we have really had strong debates, and discussions, between Baba and Raila. And now they are together. We are seeing, their drift and changes, and it seems they are pushing out Gachagua and those people whom they think they are tribal in the government. Number one is, do you think, first of all, there is something for Kenyans in the Ruto-Raila's deal, or this is just, let politics, calm down? And then, do you think they're pushing Gachagua and maybe Ruto and Raila, can they end tribalism? We all know what Kenya is. Even, we have been talking with Abel here, I've been asking him if, Ruto and Raila will really end corruption. But the answer, has been, it's the way of life of Kenyans. Tribalism also partly is somehow a way of life in Kenya. Yet they're saying, let's push Rigathi Gachagua away his tribalism. But will they be able, or they'll just, include everyone, but will not really have, a different thing. Even the people like the chair of the budget is a Luo. we can't say he's that Raila is really bringing other people or new people. He's bringing people whom like someone they are just from his tribe, and maybe as you talk about is there any hope from the Raila Ruto's MOU, but is there also an end to tribalism? Is there a chance?
Yes, the GNZs. Allow me to thank the GNCs for forming that leaderless group because they did not want the glory of one person out of the efforts of everyone. When Abela said the government is full of us. Opposition does not mean suffering. Opposition means keeping the government in check. And now the GNCs have taken the role. Raila, Amolo Odinga and William Ruto are solution-oriented people towards a working nation. Gachagua, although Gachagua has a beef ya ile siasa, ila ati if you did not support me, you are not my person. That is the spirit of Gachagua. What he forgets is that the taxes are collected from Mombasa to Mount Elgon, from all sectors, so that we can have that national treasury. We cannot continue with the division. It is true there is tribalism, but we must not allow tribalism to control us. These tribes are there, the tribes were there, so you cannot eradicate tribes. It is us to love one another. Hiyo ndio mapenzi ya Mwenyezi Mungu. Makabila tupendane, tufanye kazi pamoja, so that we become Kenya. Kenya is not just Kenya for one tribe, Kenya is for all of us. Na hakuna siku Kenya imelia hati, hey, nimechoka kubeba nyinyi makabila zote. Kenya is just happy carrying all of us. So, we need to be happy staying in Kenya. Let no tribe be threatened. So, Gachagua, where you are, Kenya is bigger than you. Yeah. And Kenya is bigger than William Ruto and Raila Amolo Odinga, and they have accepted. That's why they come to work together for this nation. And the GNCs, those Kebaro, Kina Morara, they want to steal away the glory of GNC. In fact, the GNC, we don't recognize them. Because the GNCs went to Parliament to just tell the President, Mr. President, this bill is too much for us. And the bill was formed because the people had demanded the President for that, because the same GNCs who had just been employed like doctors wanted very huge salaries to be doctors. Teachers on the other hand also wanted to be confirmed. But the President said, let us live by our means. But now they pushed the President to the limits, and the President had to formulate the bill. And the other GNCs who are not doctors or now, they realized, no, this thing is hurtful for our nation. And they came and said, no, we must control the budget. We must live according to the means by the words of the President. And the President came to realization, these people agree with me, and they abolished away with the bill. Yeah. So once the bill was done away with, I think we as the GNCs, we are comfortable. We are witnessing our country growing as slowly as we are progressing. Kila mtu anataka mshahara ya milioni moja, but let that come when it is at ease. Yeah. Sindio? Yeah. So Raila Amolo Odinga and William Ruto working together is good for the country. Yeah. Thank you.
I think I'll join him on the same issue of Rigathi Gachagua. Derek, you've said over the burial of Gitai, Raila said that Ruto is going nowhere. Yeah. And I think I want to join Timothy Satya that the problem that Rigathi Gachagua had with President Ruto, if you ask me, is a problem of leadership. It's not a problem to it's not even a personal problem. The kind of President Williams Ruto leadership maybe does not allow that kind of leadership that Rigathi Gachagua, the leadership of shares. Sometimes someone will argue, what is it that Rigathi was talking about Mount Kenya every time? Yet they have more numbers of CS in the cabinet of Kenya from Mount Kenya, 8 CS cabinets from Mount Kenya. These one are people that were controlling the budget of Kenya. These one are people that at least you may never miss the same people from the same community. If you want us to talk about shares, Murima, the people with most shares in this government were the people, and even the positions, those people with more positions were people for Murima. The only problem that Gachagua and probably now the people of Murima have with William Ruto is the issue of leadership. Derek, why? President those people from and I want to believe, and if you followed what was happening in that burial, and you heard Senator Nyutu telling Raila that the only way for you to become a president is make sure that you abandon, not work with Gachagua, abandon, first of all, abandon Ruto, leave alone working with Rigathi. We want to see first you have abandoned Ruto, then we'll consider if now you can come and work. So these people, they have that mentality of managing everyone in Kenya, and they thought by them, they were sure we have Rigathi in this side of Ruto, and we have Martha Karua in that side of Baba. In short, who had managed everyone? Kikuyus had tried to manage everyone by ensuring that yes, so they had ensured that they are in everything, and they really wanted to manage Ruto through Rigathi, and they actually thought that Ruto was that weak man. Apparently, Ruto has turned out to be like Moi. During Moi's time, they thought that Moi was the weakest Kalenjin man. Apparently, Moi came and led for more than two decades, and you may underestimate William Ruto kind of leadership in this, but it's not that man that you can really manage, and that is his kind of leadership. And we have seen him agreeing to even what some people believe that Ruto will not agree to the handshake, because now they knew they had put very many mitegos, and indeed some people are blaming Ruto's bad, and we have now come to know is kumbe Ruto angekubali hata handshake, kumbe ni mitego yenye baba aliweza kutegua. Indeed, Ruto is a good man from the word go, but this spirit of saying that we must have some people in government and not have some people in government is something that has been wasting us as the people of Kenya, and is something that we should really throw away. Let us have a Turkana as the deputy of Kenya, Timothy Satya. Let us have a man from Coast being the deputy of Kenya. Kindiki is the deputy for now. They should really enjoy that, and it must not really be. And you saw yesterday after the church service, people saw Kalonzo and Rigathi, and they were singing Ruto, Ruto. It's not, these one are political rhetorics. When I tell the young people, I've been doing this politics, Rachel has we have been in politics, Timothy, since we were young.
Our classes.
So to say this thing that Rigathi was just he's been peddling with what is not happening in the political. You've said people love their tribes. Everyone want to identify with their tribes. It's my tribe, but I should not use my tribe to pin you down. All tribes are, no tribe is better. When you learn Kiswahili, hakuna lugha yenye ni bora kushinda nyingine. Why should some people feel that they are better than others? So even I'm proud of my ethnicity, but I should not use my ethnicity to undermine some other person, and that is exactly what President Ruto has done to Rigathi Gachagua.
Yeah. A lot of, Kikuyus, had brought a lot of Kikuyus privilege that even to some people they're wondering, an average Kikuyu can live up to 80 years, but an average Luo, lives for only 60 years. And it's, it's among the issues that is making the broad-based government. Ken Kimtai saying youth have always played a central role in shaping democracy worldwide. In Tunisia, youth activism led to ousting of President Zine El Abidine. They also led to protests against controversial extradition bill in China, mass protests against racial injustice following George Floyd's murder in US, among others. The influence of Gen Z is in shaping Kenyan democracy is untimely. They should never underestimate, particularly in the coming general election. I engage with so many, and it's amazing how they are informed of current political atmosphere. They believe there is an option at the helm of presidency as substitute, like former CJ Maraga. And Kenya should actually be prepared for a new dawn. Also, think the Jishindie challenge, winner Ray Mbatiany is saying, I agree, he agrees with Charles Dickens that opposition must not, a country can thrive without opposition. Saying, a country cannot thrive without opposition, and I think he agrees that opposition is there to put the government in check on their toes, but it does not necessarily have to be intense fallout and hatred.
For sure.
Yeah, I think everyone agrees with you, Rachel. It should not be intense, hatred and really like falling out, that bad, but it should be it should be just like normal politics. But is there any change that Ruto and Raila might bring? You have said the Gen Zs, they did their part. They have been heard. Now Ruto and Raila have come together, and even many young people don't believe. You are even hearing Ken Kimtai saying, Maragwa, and we have talked about here that if Maragwa is an option, in this country, and it seems Ruto and the young people are not buying what Ruto and Raila are selling, and it seems the young people have like 5 million votes in this country, but it seems they are not well mobilized. It seems they don't have resources. That is just some of the the cons of the Gen Z movement. But what some of their pros is, they can really push a certain agenda, all the way to its end, the way we saw during the last year's Gen Z demonstration. And some people are saying maybe Kenya should be prepared for a new dawn where we don't have, because those who know is, Kenyatta was the first, president, then Moi, came with the Nyayo following in the footsteps. And then after that, Kibaki was like Moi's vice president for some time. And then Uhuru Kenyatta was like, Moi put his hands, on him directly, in 2002. And then Moi, now we have Ruto is like YK. It seems, like they're just different branches of the same tree. And some Kenyans are saying maybe Maraga, bring someone new, new vibes in Kenya. Is that possible?
I think I'll send then Timothy. It's something that I had actually talked about. The idea is not to have a new person at the helm of the president, but I want to agree with him that the young people know we actually have leaders in Kenya that are fit to be that caliber of the president. That is what he's saying. We have an option. If it's not Ruto, we indeed believe that we have an option of any other person becoming the president of Kenya. But what are we talking about? We are talking about the political space that we have been building over time, our political cultures. It's not something. Kenya is not a young country. Kenya has existed since our independence since 1963. You have mentioned several presidents that we have had in Kenya. This country is going to be built in history. It's going to be built over time. It's not going to be built over a decade or a fortnight or over just 5 years, and then we say that even as a country, Kenya, we have achieved. We've talked of a new person in Sierra Leone, of a new president in Ghana, those new president in Burkina Faso, and we are talking about various things that they have been able to maybe achieve, Derek. And I was talking about even our constitution. As young people in Kenya, we're only proud of our constitution because it's something that we strongly believe in, and it's our pillar, it's our anchor. But yet again, our constitution is the biggest problem when we come to progressive development. We are talking about them setting up, they are now having a refinery industry, Derek, they're having those. And in fact, I went and did my homework, and I discovered that even in Sierra Leone, for those new drilling oil, 80% is going even to Australian companies that, and I strongly believe that one will not, Kenyans cannot allow that. Yet they're the same people coming and coming to report to us that we are experiencing this and this. I saw affordable housing in Ghana. And the affordable housing came as a result of tax, because that president said, I'll not go and borrow from IMF, I'll not. And for them, they are celebrating news. But in Kenya, Kenyans are really complaining, but I really hope when other people see that from the outside eye, they're seeing it as a development and as a massive transmogrification. So, Derek, what I'm trying to say is that not that the leadership of President Ruto is bad, not that the leadership... In fact, I once said in this show that with the system that the constitution has set for us, even if today Abel is going to be the president, even if today our director Elia Love is going to be the system has been made in a way that maybe in as much as is not going to achieve that what is supposed, but a lot of people are working for the system, and these are Kenyans, and this is the same thing that we are preaching here. In the spirit of the broader base, let people work to ensure that it is working. It's not only President Ruto that is working for Kenyans. We are having a population here that should fall and should follow the If you people are refusing to follow the policies of the president, then it's not going to work. You're only going to say this president is bad. And that is what Raila is saying. After Ruto, we had Rigathi. Now Rigathi's word, we are saying is out. We have Kindiki. Who next? We are talking about Maraga. After Maraga, what next? Because we know the transformation is not going to happen under a fortnight. Maraga said that we need people to follow laws. He was the Chief Justice. Were people not following laws when he had, in fact, he had the power of even executing people when he was the Chief Justice, Derek. We have a system here in Kenya that we have a culture that him alone, when you ask him today when he woke up, maybe already ameshapena corruption pali. It is us as a people, us as the young people, the people that we are. Let us ensure that we translate the numbers that we are boosting off, Derek, to votes. We have been saying here, young people are not voting on the ballots. We boast of 5 million, but it does not translate to numbers at the ballot. Bring that leader that you're saying, we have young people that we believe they can replace Ruto. Bring them to the ballot and wake up as early as 5, the way the older people wake up, to go and vote for Ruto, because they are the age mate. They believe in those people, and they believe those people. If you believe in Timothy Satya anataka kuwa senator, let us go and mobilize our numbers as young people, 5 million, and translate this thing to the ballot. Not go just saying Ruto. We have the numbers that made Ruto to be the president in 2022. Those are the numbers that Ruto is working. If you want to be part and parcel of the whole equation, bring your numbers to the ballot.
Yeah, also among the Gen Zs and the young people, there are also also Ruto as Gen Zs. You can't say all Gen Zs, are a monolith and they just follow, a certain idea. So they will always be diverse. But, in the US, we had Trump, not a politician, a businessman coming into politics and bringing in the revolution, which we are now seeing today. There is some kind of change in the US. We have had also different countries. I think the president of Botswana, Duma Bok, was just an activist and a lawyer, and he is now a president. But in Kenya, it seems the presidents, come out of the same place, and that is why and I want to get your thoughts, Senator, because that is the question, I'm asking. Is there, a change that will come of having someone like, Maraga, a new face in the presidency?
Okay. Allow me to join hands with the youth speaker saying that Kenya needs just solutions. Maraga has been in the government, the judiciary part of the independent and Chief Justice. Since
2021.
and people love him. Kenyans love him the way they love William Ruto because of taking hard stand of cancelling elections that happened in 2017. It was in 2017, isn't it?
Yes.
And they should also thank William Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta for accepting the elections to be redone. What people should not forget. In order for Maraga to be Maraga, there are people also who sacrificed their victory in order to make his name great as he is, because the nation is bigger than all of us, and we thank each and everyone for having participated in that all along. And Maraga in that judiciary, we thank him for having participated in making the country to be the way it has been. And William Ruto began when he wanted a lot of solutions for this country, only to meet people who are not supporting him in office. The way Abela said, there are systems which have been placed that maybe they hinder you and there and there and there. Like Ruto met GNCs nearly overthrowing him from government, and now Raila has come to protect him because this nation cannot be allowed to succumb into disease of tribalism. Ilo wanasema government of shareholders. That is not allowable. They are now championing again Matiang'i. It is good. But why?
His abstention.
In his abstention. And we are not saying anyone is perfect. No one is perfect. Even for me, I'm saying I am requesting people to give me this position so that I may be able to deliver according to what people require me to deliver to them. It is what Kenyans require them to have. Right now in Kenya, we are just concentrating on the president. We have county government. In fact, we should also be thanking the president for having made sure that county government have received their allocations
On time.
On
For
time.
The first time in this administration compared to other administrations.
So, also the same knowledge they are calling the president, they should also transfer the same knowledge to county governments. Let all sectors be held accountable,
Including MPs.
Yeah. Not just one person. So, if you are to make progress in Kenya, we have decentralized government so that we make governance very easy. But if you compare to other countries where revolution just take place, it is now where government is centralized. But in a country where the government has been decentralized, where a local citizen can receive services as near possible as it can, Kenya has achieved a lot in progressive, what we call reaching services to the county government at its size level. Kenya is among the most developed countries in Africa. Yeah. That is the truth. And as we are working together, for me, I say the president is now protecting powers. He was, even if Maraga goes there, my friend, I'm telling just Kenyans, let us be solution-oriented people. But also, we cannot have an uncontested seat. Let them contest and let a person who wins, let that person win. If it is Maraga, and if Ruto maintains, but we remain with one thing: service to delivery of the Kenyan should be key. And those who are playing, even Hitler, Adolf Hitler, allow me to share with you. Adolf Hitler had the best strategy. In fact, he revolutionized Germany. People just think Adolf Hitler is just a fighter. Adolf Hitler ran Germany in 2 years.
Economy was the best.
Economy was the best, and citizens were not paying taxes. We can have a country where we can run a country without people paying taxes. Hitler is approve of it. So everyone has got weakness and strengths, but it is good when strengths outweigh weakness. But also Maraga should thank Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta for allowing their victory to be redone again. It is not so easy. Thank you.
Yeah, it's the country is very, very big, but also in Africa, we are seeing revolutions or some kind of changes. We're talking about Burkina Faso last week. The Ibrahim Traore came through a coup d'etat, I think, which made him become, I think, two coup d'etats. Yeah. And I think, maybe Rachel is thinking whatever we are drinking is some kind of alcohol, but he's saying, I've been thinking yolo ya Vietnam ikiweza kuwa past in Kenya, si watu wengi watauliwa. Apparently Vietnam sentences corruption and drugs to death. classmates mtasurvive kweli. Americans did not survive Vietnam, you know. Most people cannot survive Vietnam.
And these drugs are not bad things. I can say that way because
And you'll get to know someone in the who passed that law is smoking. in
he's
Vietnam.
smoking, protecting his business. In fact, Vietnam, can you Google, is ranked among the countries that receive the highest level of drugs.
Yeah, and that's why
They have those.
you'll never see a Vietnamese being sentenced, but if they get another person, you know, they will really sentence you badly, you know.
But we're really wishing the lady that is facing sentence in Vietnam, I think she goes by the name Duta. We're really wishing her well. Maybe she found herself in a situation that maybe she was just being used. She was not. She said the information that we're getting, and most of you are getting, is that maybe her briefcase was confiscated with those drugs in Ethiopia, and later on she was used. And since she's not a propagator, we really hope she gets justice. She's not. It's my prayer she does not face the hangman's noose. Mwalimu yo ndio I think inaitwa hivyo, hangman's noose. And if she comes, let her come and face the laws of the land here in Kenya. For us, I strongly believe we will survive in Vietnam. That one I strongly believe.
So many Americans by they did not succeed in Vietnam. You know, the fall of Saigon, those who remember, Americans were chased out of Vietnam. Americans were also chased out of Afghanistan. And if you check the two countries, you know, in Afghanistan, they just plant, you know, the poppy plant. Used to make heroin. It's just planted. And Americans, even in Vietnam, you know, you cannot win. If you saw those movies, you know, those people are really smoking the hell out of themselves, you know. Rain Batiani say, you know, I think she was already killed, but I don't, you know. I think Singoe Korir, the PS for Foreign Affairs, say, you know, they are in conversation with the ambassador. The ambassador of Vietnam. And we did see the ambassador. I think we have seen the ambassador.
It was positive.
It was positive. And we have been talking about something about Gen Zs, you know, and we know Gen Zs have the numbers, but their mobilization is the problem. And even in Africa, you know, by 2060 they are projecting, you know, that Africa will have like 2.8 billion, and I think around 1.5 billion will be the young people, the young generation. But it seems, you know, even here in Kenya last year we did see that, you know, the young people are like a recipe for instability and chaos if there is no, you know, significant employment. And in Africa we are not seeing any country, you know, with really, you know, tackling the issue of unemployment, where even South Africa currently, you know, is having problems. Even Egypt, you can't say it's, you know, the issue of unemployment is still there in Africa. But Africa, it seems, you know, to be projecting that it might, you know, be the youngest population in the whole world by 2060. But we still have so many problems. But there is no significant solution in any African country, you know. And we are now like 1.5 billion people in this continent, and the median age in a country like Kenya is 19. And we have like anyone, I think, between the age of 25, most people between the age 25 to 19 are not employed. So it means there's a crisis of unemployment in the whole of Africa. And, you know, Africa is the next big thing. Everyone knows all the minerals for doing technology are coming out of Africa. You know, the youngest population. It means that if there is a war, most probably an African, and even by 2060, out of every 4 people in the world, 1 will be African. So, and already Africa, we have a problem. And I think whatever the question is this morning, is Africa really going to, or because even so many young people don't believe there is a future for them here in Africa. So it seems like Africans might go all over the world and just help those other economies, go up. But at the same time, Africa is going down and down, but still its population will still be the youngest. Is Africa really, and even Kenya, are we doing something to make sure that our young people, the Gen Zs, the millennials, are getting something? Even if we have Raila and Ruto agreeing, yes, it's good for our peace and unity, that is the political outcome that cannot be shaken. But still, is there something, from your own perspective, Abel, is there something really being done to make sure that young people, really get employment, and if not employment, something to do, something that occupies them, and it's a source of income to them?
Yeah, Derek, with this administration, I strongly believe it's been the agenda of President Ruto to ensure that is trying to make opportunities for the young people. We've been talking that what most young people want are opportunities. And I want to believe the 74,000 teachers that were employed, amongst them we have young people. And I want to believe it's the agenda of the government, even in speaking about affordable housing. I want to believe that most of the people that are being employed there are young people. I've seen it being the agenda of the president, trying to even outsource some jobs that maybe are not available here in Kenya. We have seen even Kenyans alone going to these, seeking themselves jobs in these other countries because we don't have jobs in Kenya. And it never even started during Ruto's time. It's been a menace that is in Africa, and it's been since independence. And in that spirit, in trying maybe to even salvage the situation, this administration has been at the forefront in ensuring that even in those countries that our people are going, what are the working conditions? How are those jobs? And even the president has gone and tried to make even more than, I heard him saying that more than 50 treaties with so many countries in ensuring that we are creating job opportunities for our young people. These many countries in Africa have ensured they are visa free, so that maybe those young people that will wish to engage in business across Africa and those countries around Africa maybe engage in business when tariffs have been when tariffs are maybe friendly to them to maybe do business. It's my prayer that the president is going to create more job opportunities by creating more, setting up more industries in rural areas. Derek, let us have more industries being created, and in areas where we're having agricultural produce, and have young people being employed in those industries. Let us have industrial business parks. And we've seen even in Bungoma recently, we had the trades minister coming to Bungoma. PS Joma Mukwana, trades minister, was in Bungoma he was accessing the Sangalo industrial park. And in that spirit, I hope the president is ensuring that this is happening everywhere in Kenya to ensure that our young people are having jobs. Let us also have policies that are ensuring that those people that are in these government jobs are also getting out, Derek, and having young people getting those opportunities. Because again, the problem that we're having so many young people graduating, and the jobs that we're having cannot accommodate those very many young people. The president again should create more money opportunities for young people, even to create business for themselves, because then again, not all people can be employed, or not everyone can be in the employment or white collar jobs. Let us have these opportunities that will allow young people to even employ themselves, Derek. Let it be the agenda of this government. And we have seen through small massive projects such as affordable housings, Derek. Let us have this happening everywhere in Kenya, and even improve the economic productivity of some areas, Derek. Through that, I think we'd be talking about on how we can have these job opportunities for young people.
Yeah. Apart from jobs, among things that should bring jobs, is trade and also production in different fields. But even after, the African continental free trade area, came into existence, we still have, very, very little intra-African trade, like in EAC, SADC and ECOWAS, like business is very, very small. Africa is still dependent on exporting coffee. And even like Kenya, and you get Kenya, which is a neighboring country with Ethiopia, competing to export coffee all over the world. So we again, getting ourselves in a competition instead of working together. So there is little, intra-African business, and this is because of the barriers. If you are coming from Uganda to Kenya, you must, show maybe. But in East Africa, it has changed. You can travel with your ID all over.
Yeah,
But in other countries, you cannot go until you have a visa. Yeah, which is almost very expensive
But,
to process,
yeah.
and it takes a very, very long time. Making it very hard
for
to do business. Yeah, here in
Means you can go to Uganda with your ID.
Yes,
yeah
right
in
now.
Uganda.
And
Yeah,
you
even
can go to
DRC.
South Africa with your passport minus visa.
Yeah, in South Africa,
Even
you
South-
can
South
go
Af-
with your
South-
passport.
South- and that one our policies that were brought
By
this
Ruto, yeah.
administration.
Yeah, those are recent, But if you go maybe to like Malawi, you need a passport. If you go to Central Africa Republic, Chad, you need a passport, which takes very long and very, very expensive to process. And still, we have this problem in Africa. Apart from that, we have conflicts like Sudan, DRC, where ethnic, people are fighting different wars. And these, are real barriers that are making it very hard for people to get employment. And Mr. Senator, if you get a chance to become the senator of maybe Elgon County, Bungoma County, or Trans Nzoia County, you need, these are the things. Now will you be able to even advise the president, in improving intra-African business? EAC, as a bloc, SADC as a bloc, they have ways, COMESA as a bloc, ECOWAS as a bloc, they have a way of trading between their member countries. But when it comes to just Africa, as a continent, as a whole, even going to Morocco, Mauritius, those countries, is like big problem. You have to pay a lot of money. You have to undergo a lot of bureaucracy, What can you go and, maybe are now the senator, maybe in the Foreign Affairs or Foreign Relations Committee, being told that now, tell the president, what should he do to maybe increase intra-African, trade, so that, more employment, is increased in the continent.
First of all, allow me to thank you for that. In Kenya, we have enough resources to empower us to reach high potential. In fact, in eradicating poverty, Africa has got a lot of resources. Yeah. Resources are there, and God gives us resources in order to improve our life standards. Like, look at people are now wobbling. They are seeing as if land is getting scarce. Land is not getting scarce. Even we are not feeling the earth. Here in Mount Elgon, even we have not started erecting 12-story buildings. Even in Africa, we have not even started witnessing those big buildings. And in geography, our teachers told us that just here we have, we have that centripetal forces. I don't know, centripetal, which happens at the equator, the world bulges outwards. Yeah. So ukiona juu hivi, dunia inaendelea kuwa kubwa. Hii mashamba hapa, dunia hapa chini ni ndogo, ukienda juu dunia inaendelea kuwa kubwa. The world bulges outwards. So it is the still human being to use knowledge. That's why we need to think. We need to be more creative. Don't fear to give birth. In fact, give birth. The generation that comes with solutions to combat the challenges that are affecting the continent at that time. Like here in Mount Elgon, for example, we do not have tarmac roads. Most youths are unemployed. Look at every bomber you gonna Maui. Look at NYS there in Nairobi. machines zimelala tu za kushaga mawe. I will advise the president, first of all, I come from Mount Elgon, help us with those machines, let them go to Mount Elgon, let them crush those stones, use waemployiwe waendeshe hizo matrela, let us tarmac our roads, let us remove tenders. Mambo ya tenders, the president should do away with the tenders. One person getting rich at the expense of so many people. Let just the government undertake its work. Let the youth engage in work. The same way Mr. President is giving teachers internship. Let him also engage youth in internship towards working, like building of roads. If it is building roads, let youths be engaging. Kwa pesa kidogo, hata kama ni shilingi 10,000 kwa mwezi, hiyo mtu apatingi hiyo. And let them work. The same way a teacher early in the morning wakes up to go and teach, the same youth wakes up early in the morning. Roads. And if you know that Kenya is productive, look at the way roads are getting damaged. Means goods are being transported. Here in Mount Elgon, food produce is rotting in farms, and in Turkana, there are people sleeping in hunger. People are not eating fresh skuma, no fresh vegetables. Here in Mount Elgon, cabbage kanose kwa shamba. Weka airstrip. Another thing in Kenya is something called tribal biasness in Africa. You put a project a place where it is not supposed to. For example, I can ask Moses Wetangula, the speaker now is working with William Ruto. What was the essence of putting that airstrip in Kandui there? Yeah. It is serving nothing. It is a playground for children. They are busy engaging with bicycles there. In Chebuk, where the Europeans set a place for life-saving helicopter. Hapa nje airstrip indagana ikue. Turkana, Mount Elgon. Food produced from Mount Elgon inaenda Turkana. How many youths could have created employment? A lot. No people will be sleeping hungry in Turkana. Isiolo, Mandera, food produce all along. In the base likewise. Yeah. So it is placing right projects to the right places. That is what I will advise the president to do so. And also allow the youth to participate in how they can come with the solutions towards engaging them to increase the economical empowerment. Yeah. Like for example, there's nothing new you can do. If you come to Mount Elgon, these people, they take care of animals. We need here industries to make shoes of leather, to build leather jackets, people to put on decent clothes at very cheap price. Ngozi hapa na shilingi 70. Kiatu, mkijana nenda ananunua kiatu shilingi 3,000. Na ngozi moja ya mbuzi inaweza unda viatu pair 6. Like now we can just put an industry pale na kujenga machinjoni pale pale kona 3. Machinjoni kubwa tu na wanaweka industry ya kutengeleza viatu hapo. The youths are the ones who will be working there. Yeah. So it is just using the resources that are there to put our youth into practice. Yeah. That is exactly what we need to do.
I think someone by the name Dan Chesesa anasema this one is imekujia huku wengine ametuma tu anasema Dan Chesesa, I hope you know him. Following you my guys Shabatai, Satya and Mr. Chamosi, we appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Also, Brighton Chumo is saying the senator. Yeah, Chemonges Junior is also, poking you, saying mwalimu wa Kiingereza lessons zimeanza.
They are already covered.
Yeah, lessons ziendelee. These are the big lessons, that are being talked about here. And lastly, in the story of Africa there's a problem, and a lack of information and lack of infrastructure. Maybe in Kenya we have roads that can take us to our borders. But maybe I land in DRC. There are no roads. I go in another place in Africa, there are no roads. And this has really, become a problem. And also lack of information. I may be going to Malawi and I don't know anything. No blogger, no one even has ever done, a video of how Malawi looks like. I arrive in the airport, and then what next? You don't even other countries, like, they are so remote that, you can't even Google them. Their information are not there.
What and their youths are engaging in war.
Yeah, their youths are covered, in bullets, ready for any war, and their hands, are just ready for any war. What can be done, and we have discussed, a lot of wars, but this is quite different, like maybe we as Kenyans are trying to elevate ourselves, but once I'm taking my things to Ethiopia, once I reach the Redawa river, I cannot cross because Ethiopia has not built a bridge there. Or there is no, or Kenya and Ethiopia has not have agreed to build a bridge. You remember when we are going to Chepkube, the Kenyan side is okay. We entered Uganda and it's literally a village. But it's the same place. How can these gaps be covered so that or how can Africans really maybe fund their infrastructure development? Because even the current AU chair who defeated Raila is saying that what, we need to stop depending on foreign aid. What do we do? In a place like DRC, we have seen the Americans have accepted, on a minerals deal so that they protect the country. What do you think, can be done, or can be done? Let's start with you, Senator, to address these infrastructure gaps in Africa.
In Africa, in order to solve African problems, let us tap the correct energy and let us use our cultures very well. The communities, these borders that were drawn, they were drawn by Europeans. And you see, you can have a community that is in Kenya and is still in Ethiopia there, just in a border. Let us just let the community continue working together. Like you have your suburbs here in Kenya and suburbs in Uganda, Upper Swam. Let the community that is there just continue participating and working together cohesively towards achieving unifying purpose, because glory is all of us coming out of this disease called poverty. And Africa is the most potential land. Europeans came here. In order, you see, those Europeans, they are rich. Those resources are here from Africa. So in order for us Africans to address these problems, it is us working together. And like Kenya, they have sent some youths. We have Ndindi Nyoro, is a love of youths. Babu Wino. We have also youths have been sent to represent other youths so that they may address challenges that they are facing. And those leaders who are not open to change, our advice is this: you are just holding that position temporarily. We are mortals. We will leave these nations. Let us leave these nations when we have worked towards achieving unifying purpose. Let us not be those whom people say, we thank God for having eliminated them from leadership because they are working against uniting communities. Let us work with prosperation, because even if you work with your mindset that this community, you will just leave the community and the community will continue. Leaders will continue emerging. Even if you are not to give a solution now, solution will find its way. I end there. Solution will find its way at long last. Africa will develop regardless of the situation, because Africa problems have to be answered in Africa. They have to be answered in Africa. And Africa was not depending on foreign aids before the coming of the European. We were independent. Now that these Europeans have come, they need to be a bigger boost up to us. So my challenge is this: let us love one another. In Africa, it is just love. Let us love one another. Because mapenzi hayana mipaka. Upenda haina mipaka. Tukipendana, na we will open many ways and many ways of getting what we do not have and giving people what we have. The same love we have in taxes, let us have the same love in giving communities development regardless of their boundaries in all countries. Thank you.
Yeah, as we continue, and Abel, you might finish, on us about Africa, and as we continue talking about that, Isaac Mutuma is now the governor. He's taking out of office in Meru. Yeah,
He was the senator.
He was the deputy governor, but the High Court, upheld what the Senate, the impeachment, and now Mama has gone home. Isaac Mutuma is the new governor of Meru County. Yeah, I think that is the latest news. But Abel, how do we close that gap of infrastructure, and the problems of Africa?
Yeah, first of all, I think as Africans, what is really, really sinking us into these poverty levels is the level of debt that we have made ourselves to have. We go and have a lot of debts from foreign countries, from IMF, and instead of coming to use the same money that we've gotten from them for development, we come and steal, we come and use that money for corruption. We use them in corruption proceeds, and not only in Kenya, this one is a problem that is rooted in Africa. If we are going to have leaders that are going to ensure that we shy away from this habit of borrowing, and let us now have this culture of using our own resources and ensure that we are not accumulating so much, so in that we are so indebted. Our systems have made us we cannot get out of the African bloc, if I'm to use that word, because of the system that the borrowing system that we are using in Africa has made us to be poverties in our own nations, in our own countries. Yet we are the countries that are enjoying a lot of resources. Proverbs chapter 22 verses 7 says that a lender, a borrower becomes a slave to the lender. A borrower comes a slave to the lender. And that is the exact situation that we are as Africans. We are the slaves of the lenders, those countries that have made sure that maybe we're having these roads, we're having even this small infrastructure. You see, we have built, we are happy of Ibrahim Traore building those mining oils, yet the biggest percentage is going to those guys. Over 80%, over 90%. Derek, who is enjoying? The lender is enjoying. So it's upon us to maybe have that wisdom and ensure that even as a country, let us form these as African nations, and let us put those, like the way President Ruto was saying, let us form this basis of being depending on ourselves as our nations. Not every time you're depending on debts from China. We cannot pay a debt from China. We run to Russia, come and salvage us from this debt of China. We are unable to pay China. We go to US, come and save us from Ukraine. And just becomes a circus. So the biggest problem that we're having in Africa typically is debt from those foreign. We should ensure that and even Africa, Museveni has told us that we are having food in Africa. We may never depend food. Why should we go to Europe to look for food? Let us eat our cassava. Let us produce sugarcane in plenty. Let us produce maize in plenty, and ensure that we are protecting our environment, and make sure that Africa is the most safest place to be, even in future.
Yeah, Africa, is said to be the youngest, Africans are said to be the youngest, population by 2060, around a population of 2.8 billion, But some of people are saying, they are not ready for this, and what should they do? They have discussed some of them, like fixing the tariff barriers and the building of roads and infrastructure to make sure there's seamless transport, all over the continent. Yeah, and our last story, we have seen over the weekend, President Trump, ordering, or fighting a war in the Red Sea, against the Houthis of Yemen. And the President Trump did order, that a large scale military action be taken against the Houthis, who control Yemen now, And strikes were done from the USS Harry S. Truman and other US military assets, And this included, air bombing, which even dropped in the capital of Yemen, Sana'a, and other towns in the region. And Trump did say also that Biden had a very weak response, and also the Houthis of Yemen have been blocking the Suez Canal and the Red Sea, interfering with a very very key maritime route, which has cost, a lot of Americans, that it has cost them a lot of things. But now, as we speak, the war is continuing. We did see Trump himself in the control room, making sure that everything is going on well. And I wonder, because also the Red Sea is just here in North Africa. And it seems, it's just that we can't hear the bombs, but they're just somewhere here in Africa, fighting. But also we have seen, Trump saying that, guess what, in my term, I'll not allow any terrorism, I'll not allow any terrorism or any terrorist group. The first thing I think he did, he also ordered an attack in Somalia where he killed some ISIS. We have also seen recently, an operation manager of ISIS being killed. And maybe, it seems Trump has come back with full, force to show the terrorists who have been, maybe making the world unsafe, that, it seems like, it is time to make the world safe. Also, we are seeing Trump in Greenland, Trump in Panama Canal. And I'm wondering, is America maybe asserting its influence again? We did see in Africa, the Americans had been lost. Chinese were everywhere. Anytime we could travel to Nairobi, we could just see Chinese companies everywhere, Are Americans trying to come back, to make a comeback in the world? And if they're trying to make a comeback, where are they gone? Where the Americans gone, and who was responsible maybe for their going into the bad direction? Starting with you, Senator, as we end, our stories of the day, and just, before we speak about your ambitions here in Bungoma County, why do you think, Americans are fighting almost everywhere?
Americans have both the Democrats and the Republicans, and their views are all making America great. The Republicans, by Donald Trump, they believe that through economical standards, America will always remain the top of the world, also in terms of currency world. That's why they are taking over Yemen. They want to control the Suez Canal, which has been a very great history in terms of trade since times of memorial. So now Donald Trump, being a businessman, is very interested. That's why also, as you see, is invading Congo because of the minerals that they are there. That's why when you hear someone called Paul Kagame says that when Rwanda fought, no one went there. They fought until they agreed on their own, because in Rwanda there are no minerals. So therefore, they come for something hot cake. In Yemen, there is a lot of oil. So they are going there because of something that is so appetizing there.
Controlling the Suez Canal. Key, maritime route.
And the dominance of the Chinese in the market. They also want to cap the dominance of the Chinese in the market like that. And also America being an interested party here in Kenya. They see Kenya as their most close ally in Africa. So they also set their bases here in Kenya. And the democratic way of ruling, they believe in diplomacy, that they can diplomate, bring the US aid across the world, so that through those guys, they want to control minds of the other people. They also still work for the American greatness. All those people are just interested in America. They trap the resources of other countries for their own good. Like the Democrats, they will use the resources which the Republicans have acquired for the nation to order to get the minds of the people to speak their own knowledge. That is the way of Americans. They always work for their own good. For me, I will say it is time we also Africans focus on our own and let us trade mutually with these countries. I rest my case there.
Yeah, I think Senator today he used the best words of and I've been talking this time and again. President Trump administration is determined to maybe return that American spirit that I think Derek has asked. where the US had gone. I think it's matters leadership, what Timothy has just said, Democrats and Republicans. I think now with what we are having with President Trump, just trying to reclaim the glory that was gone, because we remember the last administration was the administration of Joe Biden, and before that we had the administration of Barack Obama, and it had its own kind of leadership. But this one is a new kind of leadership with President Trump. We've seen various things happening, and we have been discussing here. So I'll use few words to describe what is happening in US. It's just a change of power, what Timothy has said, and it's the American spirit, Derek, and with the same. Let every country forge what is of interest to them. And fair enough, as Kenyans, we enjoy a good relationship with US. We have seen very many people being deported. Countries such as Somalia have been banned. You cannot come from Somalia and go to USA right now. And very many African countries, Sudan, among those countries that have been sanctioned. And I want to boast and be proud that among very many countries that are not going to maybe access those privileges. You know, US is a superpower nation, and it's a democracy that has really matured. And since we are really enjoying a good relationship with them as a nation, that is what matters, because for Kenya and US, we really enjoy, we have that mutual relationship as two countries, be it trading, be it security. And we remember the American forces are working closely with the Kenyan forces to ensure that we are fighting terrorism, be it Al-Shabaab and any other terrorist group that maybe is trying to arise within. And amongst the things that we must really enjoy and boast of as our relationship with maybe United States. And Derek, it's just a changeover of administration. It's the American spirit with President Trump.
The Americans are continuing with their way, against the Houthis of Yemen. They are pounding the country properly. And those are just, among the stories we have had for you this morning, including also, the Africa. Africa by 2060 will be the youngest in the whole world. Also, I've talked about Raila, telling Gachagua, Ruto is going nowhere. And finally, we did talk about the changes in different parliamentary committees and what it means, Those were just the stories that we had, and on 12th of April 2025, and yesterday we had Bray Mbatiany, becoming a Jishindia Challenge winner, getting a ticket to attend the Bloodfest on 12th of April 2025. I wish everyone grabs a ticket so that we meet there on that day. So thank you so much everyone who has joined us this morning. I've been your hosts, Derek Korir. I've been having the senator to be Bungoma County,
Final words to the people.
And I think Timothy will have, time to say his final words. For me, let's meet tomorrow, same place, same time.
Okay, thank you very much for Mzima Wells welcoming me again here. To all our supporters across Bungoma County, I will say kila kitu iko na suluhisho. Hata kifo ile ilikuwa inasumbua watu, Jesus Christ came and say I have overcome it through, nimefufuka. Yangu ni kuja kumaliza umaskini katika jamii ya Bungoma kutumia rasilimali ambayo tuko nayo. Na wananchi ambao wako nao, tuko nao wanatosha. Everyone participating. What I'm saying is I'm requesting you mtupatie nafasi kwa sababu ni kikundi ya watu wote na tupendane, hiyo ndio kitu ya maana. Mutio mrejo. Pusi memoyo ya Bungoma. Ukabila tunamaliza. Asanteni.
Thank you. I think before that you can...
Also I think Rachel is reminding us the King and the Queen of Netherlands will be having a 4-day visit, state visit starting tomorrow. And he's asking, does this state visit help the country? I think it's big deal. Diplomacy, economy, everything. And I think we welcome the King and the Queen of of Netherlands
It's a good
to the
country, man.
yeah. Some people had gone to written so many emails to the Majesty. Yeah. And I think also Gachagua should just relax. His stories of saying he's the kingpin of Mount Kenya. The real king. He's coming to town, I think, tomorrow.
Yeah, and by the way, Netherlands is also a country that boasts of agriculture in terms of horticulture. I remember when you used to learn, they build a lot of it. It's dikes.
Biggest port also in Europe.
Yes, biggest port, Rotterdam, Amsterdam also. It's Rotterdam. It's and Holland. It's also in Netherlands. It's the biggest. It has ICC's Netherlands. We also have, you see, when we used to learn social studies and agriculture, most of flowers in Kenya are exported to the Netherlands. So we really have a lot to benefit from that visit. And we want to assure Rachel that it's a good one. We remember recently we had also, I think, we had, like, I want to use a scenario whereby we had a high commissioner from China or Japan to Bungoma County, and he was meeting with and I think it's among the things that we really appreciate. And in that same note, we want to appreciate all of you that were able to tune in to Mzimwel's morning show. Today being a Monday, we really want to big up you. The likes of Rain Batian, she's been with us here since we started, and we are almost coming to an end. We really want to appreciate, and all those that were able to comment, to share their thoughts, and give us feedback in this particular show. We really want to thank you for always tuning in to the Platform Podcast. Tomorrow we meet the same place at the same time again, and continue supporting us, continue tuning in as we aspire to grow bigger and better. Congratulations to all of you and to all those that will be joining the Jishindia. We're meeting at April 12th, Platfest 2025 in Nairobi, Utawala. The ticket is going at 2,500 shillings only. We'll be having plenty of nyama choma, plenty of sabot music, plenty of connecting, networking with people of with people of same mind, like Timothy Satya, like Rain Batian, like those people that have been commenting here. And thank you very much. I've been Abel Kibet together with Derek and Timothy Satya, coming to you live from Kapsokon. Until next time, peace. Yeah, we meet next time. Peace. Thank you for your time, guys. Thank you for your time. Until next time, peace.